Alright, so today is another transition challenge. What I'm looking for you to do is the transition known as cut on action. The goal of cut on action is that you will see yourself moving from one direction in one frame, and then you'll have an entirely different angle where you stop, pause, get into that same spot, throw that same punch from a different angle, okay? It doesn't have to be a fight, obviously. What I've filmed here is basically me walking out the door with my keys, getting into my car. You can do the same. I'm looking for something simple, just different ways of cutting on action. Now, some ways people will cut is just by their head movements, right? So if they're going this way here, then in the next clip aiming from here, they'll start going in and face off to it. So a lot of different ways to do this. You can do this very simply. You can do this really complicated. Some of the examples I'm going to show in today's lesson are from big time Hollywood movies where they get a little extra complicated with these cuts on action. It doesn't have to be that crazy. So let's look at what I've created here and let's see if you can create something of a similar feel. So the goal here is that I'm walking up and I'm grabbing my keys. Now you'll see I open the door here, and as I start to open the screen door, I will cut into the next shot from outside where I'm already opening the door. So I don't want it to, open then open again. Same here. I already started opening, cut on that opening action. Moving into the car here, I will go up to the car, pop the door, and again, with the door just being open, slide on in. So let's look at what to do and what not to do here. So if I go back into my footage, and I can start right here with this cut. You can see I've got one frame where the door starts to open, and then I go to where it is opened already. Now, if I were to, let's say, extend this out a little bit, if I were to start to come out, and then I were to grab this and I were to wait for it to open, this transition's not nearly as smooth because you see the door open, then the door open again. That's not really the transition I'm looking for, right? So I have to wait until that door cracks open a little bit, trim that down, check this footage real quick, and I'm looking for that same about openness, right? So about right there. And then I'll slam those two pieces together, and bam, we get the transition we're looking for, okay? Same thing over here. I don't want, this gate to get wide open and me to already be walking out of it, and then cut to me opening it again. That's not the general rule here. That's not the goal of what we're looking for. We're looking for matching this transition. Now, this transition can be used in a lot of different ways, right? This creates a more seamless look to what you're building, right? These transitions are made to keep your audience interested. Nobody wants to watch a 20-minute video of you just walking around grabbing keys. That's boring, right? You can see even this clip alone is ridiculous long and pretty dull to watch. As it starts moving quicker, as I start adding more cuts and more edits, it becomes a little bit more interesting. The faster you move throughout this, the more interesting it's going to be in general, right? So the more of these action cuts you have, the more different transitions you have, the more interesting your film is going to be. The higher the likelihood people are going to stop and they're going to watch your film. The biggest thing you don't want to do is bore somebody. If somebody's bored, they're clicking on to the next video. You've done it when you're sitting there looking at YouTube. You need to include different types of transitions, different types of effects, different types of feels into your video in order to keep your clip short, in order to keep people's attention span on it. So the shorter your clips, the higher the attention span, as a general rule. You don't want to go too crazy, but you don't want it to be dragging out either. This is a great way to incorporate separate shots into a single thing. Now, what I'm looking from you today is at least a 5-second video with 3 of these transitions. Not much different from what I just did, all right? If you want to do more, if you've got better ideas, different things to do, do them. You are filming for your big project right now. Take this time and film something that will work for your project, right? Go ahead and make 3 separate cuts on action that you can use in your project right now. That way you have it, you have film, you have something interesting to add to that already. Use this time to enhance your project. Now once you've got this, I need an MP4 that shows 5 seconds with all 3 of your transitions in it. Turn that into this lesson today.